What's up, everybody? We're back. If you were looking for a show to talk about fantasy football with two guys that are combined 0-4, came to the right spot, man.
Here we are.
We are here. Ultra today.
That's our sponsor.
And our patented Irish Crickets. Let's dive into how we got to 0-4 collectively. First game this week was myself and Palmer. We both picked me. I lost 127 to 106. The Palmer side, McCaffrey did decent. Carr did okay. Nothing really wild. My situation was Rashard Penny giving me 1.5. DJ Chark was 0. I had an awesome day out of Lamar, 52. 23 out of Andrews, but it just wasn't enough. Pittman not playing really hurt me with Jonathan Taylor. He only got 6. It's because they stacked up against the run, but there wasn't a ton on my bench I could have changed. Maybe Damian Harris, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah, you hate to waste a big game like that out of Lamar and Andrews. But yeah, I think Indy so far has been a surprise going 0-2 or not having any wins.
1-1, yeah.
And yeah, Taylor, you don't expect him to get less than 10 points. And then DJ Chark getting 0. That's a surprise. Yeah, I know St. Brown is the number 1 there now, but Chark getting none. And then on the flip side, Palmer just had a good or above average day from everyone, I think. James Robinson, Cortland Sutton, and then a big game out of Aaron Jones.
Huge game out of Aaron Jones.
That's kind of what led the way for him. Everyone else did, average to above. You had a great game out of Lamar and Andrews and really below from everyone else.
Yeah, Chark had a touchdown week 1. I think 0 catches on 4 targets. But it was a tough one. I don't love it. Speaking of Indy, they continually are They are continually an underachieving franchise. Is Frank Reich a problem? Is it Ballard? Is the team an issue? They have 6 quarterbacks in 6 years now.
I think it's both of them. I mean, they should have made the playoffs last year. They're starting off without a win this year. They got a great O-line. They got a good running game. They have some decent receivers. They have a good defense. It has to be, the guys up top, I think.
Must be. I don't disagree. Next game was Still Agenda versus Chasing a Championship. Pat won 138 to 84. Joey got smoked. The big question for me is Tom Brady dead. 11 points out of Brady. This is 2 weeks now where he's underachieved as well. And Tom Brady is currently the 28th quarterback, averaging 10.9 points. You don't draft Tom Brady to get you to be that bad.
I don't think he's dead. I think New Orleans definitely has his number.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think he's hurting right now. Godwin's still banged up. Evans got kicked out of that game.
Marshawn Lattimore owns Mike Evans.
So, I expect, he is 45, so he's going to fall off a cliff at some point. I'm never going to say it, though, just because he is Tom Brady.
Yeah. You think Cole Beasley coming to Tampa is going to be the savior?
Nah.
Do you think Kurt picks up Cole Beasley this week? Yeah, Pat had a good game out of Jalen Hurts, 34 points. Nothing else really stands out. 14 out of Javonte, 10 out of Kareem Hunt. Jefferson with 7. I'm sorry, I was looking at the other. 9 out of Williams, 8 out of Kareem Hunt, 7 out of Jefferson. That you don't sign up for 7 out of Jefferson.
No, I think the big thing there is
36
Waddle.
out of Waddle, yeah.
Yep.
He dominated. Him and Hill are a problem. Next game was SA Quarantine versus Ben's Baloney Boppers. This is how you got to 0-2. You lost by, 1.4 points?
Well, did you see how I lost? Nobody probably paid as close attention as the game as Matt and I.
Who am I looking for? Thielen, 7.
Adam. So this game went down to Adam Thielen and Dallas Goedert going into Monday night. Goddard had a good first half. Thielen did nothing. The final drive of the game, which meant nothing at this point, Minnesota was down big. Thielen caught 2 passes for 30 to 40 some yards to
2 half-point catches, and
to go up and have him win by a point.
that is frustrating. Kyler, over fourth, ridiculous 20-second 2-point conversion. He got 2 points out of that. Overtime, I guess the overtime was an interception.
Yeah.
But it was Kyler. Took everything Kyler had, everything Thielen had. Nothing great. I mean, no one's really. This was a slow week. You got 22 out of Cooper, 15 out of Michael Thomas. But even Aaron Rodgers, 20 points. That's right on his average, but it's not his typical 3-4 touchdown game.
The biggest thing for me, I still like my team, like I've said. They're Kamara being out, but still, I think the biggest thing for me is Kyle Pitts, I thought was going to have a breakout year, and I think he has a combined maybe 5 points this year. No, 8 points.
36th ranked tight end.
No, yeah, not even. He has a combined 5.8 points this year.
He's busted 2 of 2 weeks so far, they consider it. So and you don't draft him to bust. I had him last year. He had a ton of yards, no touchdowns, but he still got over 1,000 yards. He'd give you 8 points, 9 points. You can't be assuming you're getting 3 points out of Kyle Pitts, drafting him in the 3rd or 4th round.
I thought he was going to have a breakout year. He's been down. DK Metcalf, I think a lot of people assumed would be down without Russ. I still thought he would have a decent year. He's not playing as good, but, some people would say as expected.
Yeah.
I thought S.A. Quarantine, I thought after the draft they had one of the better teams. He's not actually, the team's not playing that great, but he's 1-1, so.
Yeah, I don't think the records tell the whole story this year. But next game is the General at 2-0 versus Return Doubtful 1-1. Tags beat Jack 132-86. Another game that just doesn't matter. Josh Allen got drafted as the first quarterback, and he's showing you why. 35 points, 23 out of Mike Williams. That's a really nice connection. 30 points out of that Tampa defense. They crushed New Orleans. The other side, Matthew Stafford got off his schneid. He got 22 points. Connor got hurt. He ended with 6. Zeke, 5 points. We were talking about Zeke earlier. Pollard looks good. He looks fine.
Yep.
Zeke might be done.
Yeah, I think, I think Zeke is past his prime. He's kind of one of those running backs. We talked about Derrick Henry, who maybe have hit their prime and are on the backside of the career. Right now, it seems like he's that way, and it seems like Dallas is playing that way with giving the ball to Pollard.
47th running back. So between Zeke and Connor, and Josh Jacobs, he has a very questionable running back core. He does have Pollard on the bench, but that's it. The rest are receivers and tight ends. Tagmeyer continues his reign. He's doing well. Another good start. So we'll see how long he can keep that up for. It's
one guy we talked about last week was Mike Williams. Boom or bust. We said that about both receivers. You can see it. Judy was bust with the injury.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, he went off. Look what happens.
2 points week 1, 23 week 2. So he definitely came back for him.
I think he's actually right there too.
Tagmeyer or Mike Williams?
Tagmeyer.
Oh wow, look at him. Next game was Army of Northern Virginia and generic team name. Kurt is 1-1 and Jeff is 0-2, battling us for worst team in the league. Kurt won 131 to 117. He has Russell Wilson and Derrick Henry and Michael Carter. Not anything to write home about. Russell Wilson, there might be buyer's remorse in Denver. They can't figure out clock management. They can't figure out play calling. They are a problem. Stephon Diggs with 41 and Rashard Bateman with 22. T. Higgins with 16. Helped lead the way with him. He had that has a lot to do. Come on in.
No.
On the other side, Trey Lance, 2 points. He's done. Done for the year. Jimmy G's back. Austin Eckler with 13. Tyreek Hill with a big 41. Oh, I'm assuming he has Dak and Trey Lance right now.
Whatever quarterback he picks up is going to get hurt.
Yeah, that's a problem. Not a great game. I mean, a decent score, 117. Actually, this week the average score was 117.5. So he was at average. Just a bad luck game, I guess. You ran into Steph Diggs and Bateman. It was a tough one for him.
Yeah, Bateman's playing well this year. Clearly number 1 in Baltimore. Diggs. I thought everyone I think everyone thought Diggs would have the season he's having so far last year that he's having this year. And then on the other side, he's getting hurt quarterback. Mike Evans getting kicked out didn't help.
No.
So, Jeff Wilson had a good game. That was a good pickup. But other than that, nothing special.
Nothing special. Last game of the week was the Rough Cats versus Dirty Sanchez. 2-0 Stu won 175 to 115. That puts Bry back to 1-1. Bry had the crown. Stu took it. Stu was high scorer of this week. He was high scorer of last week. Mahomes with 20. Not a great day, but Nick Chubb had 30. Cooper Kupp had 30. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 36. Christian Kirk had 22. His defense had 17. Devin Singletary scored 3. Travis Kelce scored 7. It doesn't matter. He could have put nobody in those two spots. He still wins by quite a bit.
Yeah, I want to know who drafted for Stu, to be honest for you, because not only did his lineup tear up, but his bench. He had Garrett Wilson, Jahan Dotson. He had Lawrence on the bench. I mean,
so Stu's bench is interesting. I was thinking about it. He drafted all very capable players, very good players. But then his bench, he drafted James Cook, rookie. Garrett Wilson, rookie. Jahan Dotson, rookie. Kenneth Walker, rookie. Cole Kmet, supposed to be the big tight end. Trevor Lawrence, second-year quarterback. Justin Fields. Justin Fields can get cut, but he has huge upside on his bench. Everybody is scrambling for Garrett Wilson. He's not going to crack Stu's lineup to a bye week. He drafted very well. He has a ton of assets to move forward, but I don't even know where you would improve. Stu has a really, really good team. I don't see his reign ending anytime soon unless you give me a Kansas City's playing in a hurricane and Mahomes and Kelce don't do anything, but...
You know what? I think Braga has a good team too, though.
Braga definitely has a good team.
He had 2 on the bench. He has 2 good running backs.
Yeah.
Maybe needs 1 receiver. But he also has Dobbins on the bench for the flex. I think he's in a good spot moving forward as well.
Yeah, I'm against the two defenses, but he can easily drop one of them defenses, grab a running back maybe, receiver maybe. I think Ayuk goes down with Jimmy G, but it's fine. Justin Herbert with 26.
I think Ayuk's going to be better.
I don't think he uses Debo and Kittle. They said that Trey Lance liked Ayuk. That's why the big thing was for him. But who knows?
Gotcha.
Bills defense 26. Wasn't enough. Stu wins the crown. He's rolling. And on the week, I went 3-3 on my picks. You went 1-5.
It's not great.
It's not great. Not at all. Let's jump into so the signings. Joey added Goff for 15. Palmer added Jimmy G for 5. Jeff added Gerald Everett for 3. There's a couple defense, a couple kickers. Nothing crazy to write home about. No, it wasn't a very huge...
No, there's been nothing big at all.
Yeah, there was not a big... Not a big free agent.
There weren't any big injuries. There weren't any big...
No, Jimmy G got a job. He got picked up. All right, we'll go into the preview. First game is Jeff versus me. One of us will be 0-3. One of us will be 2-1. 1-2. What do you think in this one? I'm hoping Pittman's back. He's questionable. He practiced, but I need Pittman to play this week, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to worry that much. Mariota's starting to quarterback for him. Devontae Smith, Gerald Everett, Jeff Wilson. I think he has a lot of holes. Whether Pittman starts or not, Lamar, Taylor, Marquise Brown, Andrews, even Damian Harris had a good game last week. I think you'll win here in a landslide.
Yeah, I'm looking at like Tyreek versus Buffalo. I can't imagine Buffalo's going to let him run wild like Baltimore did. So I'm taking myself to. I like my matchups. I hate to say it, but I don't see a position he beats me in. But I didn't think that last week, and I got beat. So I'm taking myself. You're taking me. We're going to move on. 1-1 Joey chasing a championship versus 0-2 Ben's Baloney Boppers. Do you get the win this week?
I mean, I think I do. I like my lineup, whether Kamara's in it or not. If he's in it, great. If not, I move Gibson up there and put DK in. I think I'm solid, although I thought that for the last 2 weeks. I'm 0-2. I still don't think he has a great running game. Although Jared Goff has been playing well, I don't think he's ever been a solid fantasy quarterback. I like Chase and Brown, but that's about it there.
Yeah, Chase is fine. Brown's okay. Brown's good. Brown's good. But I have to assume at some point they really want to start getting Devontae Smith involved. CD would have been great, but he's hurt, or Dak's hurt, so he has an issue. And George Kittle, I don't know. Is Kittle back yet? I thought they said a 4-week injury. He might have practiced or something. But I like Barkley versus Dallas. I think that's going to be your big guy this week. I'm picking you as well. We'll see what your Steelers defense do today against the backup quarterback of Jacoby Brissett. Next game. Does the general roll? He's 2-0 versus Pat. Still agenda at 1-1. We have pretty good matchups across the board for the general. I think he's probably happy with his team so far, being 2-0. Any comments to make, General? I don't think the microphone's going to get you mumbling over there.
Hold on.
So Pat's team, Jalen Hurts is great. Javonte Williams has been good, but San Fran got a pretty good run defense. Kareem Hunt, second fiddle versus the Steelers.
Devontae Smith. How
Devontae.
much more do you want him to get in the offense? He had 7 catches.
How many points did he have? How many yards did he have?
80.
Well, that's a solid day. What did A.J. Brown end up with?
8 targets, 5 receptions, 69 yards.
Neither one of you have either of these players.
I don't know what he's talking about.
We've moved way past that game.
That's what I was trying to find. It took me a while.
You gotta be faster.
Yeah, so
That's what happens in this industry.
So Justin Jefferson with the Detroit defense, I don't think they're going to stop Justin Jefferson much, but I don't think DJ Moore's going to do anything versus New Orleans. Waddle versus Buffalo again. That's that good Buffalo safeties, good defense. I'm taking Tagmar.
I'm going with the agenda. I think the general. I think Allen might cool down a little bit against Miami. Delvin Cook, he had an off week last week. We'll see if it's a trend or if that's the way it's going. I saw Madison a lot more in the offense than I expected.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, Mike Williams and Samuel, I think they're boom or bust. I think Jefferson is better there. And then Waddle, it seems like he's that second-year receiver that's really going to blow up this year.
Yeah, I like Waddle a lot. He's fast as well. Next one is 1-1 return doubtful. Jack Beck versus 1-1 SA quarantine. Matt Abbott. Do we know what SA stands for yet?
I do. Fuck, I can't remember.
It's not that great then if you forgot it. Just looking on the surface with Jack having Connor and Elliott, and Josh Jacobs is not questionable.
Saquon Barkley, quarantine, I think. Saquon, quarantine. I think that's it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I was thinking SA was social anxiety, but I don't think that has anything to do with his team.
I thought it was still agenda, so.
Yeah, I think it's quarantine, Saquon.
Yeah. I really like his team. I like Kyler Murray. I like Mixon. I think Fournette's good. Deontay Johnson still gets his targets. I don't like Thielen. Goddard's fine. Ingram I don't like.
I like his bench, though.
Yeah, I was gonna
Cam
say
Akers, I think,
Lockett.
will be good. Lockett, I think.
Yeah.
Lockett and Boyd, I think, is a good third receiver.
He has Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson's been a stud
big
this year.
favorite of this show is Robbie Anderson.
Like we said, return doubtful. I think Connor and Elliott are kind of past. Jacobs might be. I think he has a couple number 2 running backs, no number 1s, 2 number 1 receivers. I'm going SA quarantine.
I am too. Devontae Adams had 27 points the first week, 8 the second week. So if he doesn't really come out, I think return doubtful is in trouble. I'm taking SA quarantine as well. And we are going to roll right into Stu. Dirty Sanchez 2-0 versus the Army of Northern Virginia. Kurt, Stu is the crown holder. How does this game play out in your mind?
I'm going to go with Stu. He's been too hot, right now. I think Christian Kirk, for me, has been playing a lot better than I expected. I know he signed a huge contract.
Huge contract.
St. Brown, I think people were high on him because of Hard Knocks. And then
Finished last year.
He had a great end of the year last year.
Yeah, I think it's Hard Knocks.
But it's also got the Hard Knocks bump because, I really like Swift, and halfway through I'm thinking, do I like Swift because you've seen him? But
And I think Stu might need a second running back. Singletary's good as a third, but I think he has enough assets on his bench to get one. Army of North Virginia. Like we said, I think Henry's on the backside of his career. I think Carter's going to be good. Diggs is great. Bateman, I think, is going to be great. Higgins is okay. I'm going with Stu.
Stu's going to win I'm going to pick Stu till he loses. But Kurt's team is decent. Burrow's struggling with the sacks, but the Jets aren't going to bring a ton of heat, I don't think. Derrick Henry is a problem, though, and I think Michael Carter, I think every week that goes, Breece Hall picks up a little bit more ground on Carter, so we'll see how long that goes for, but I'm taking Stu as well, like I said. Last game on the slate, the Rough Cats. Bry Guy 1-1, and the Crumb Snatchers, Tim Palmer 2-0. Do you think Bry knows how to manage a team well?
Do you think Brad can get a beer?
I don't. I really don't.
I think this is going to be a good battle between Bry and Palmer. Bry, I think, though, has a better team. I like everyone but his real second receiver, like we just talked about. When Dobbins comes in, I think he has a real good team, may be able to trade for that. Palmer, I think, besides James Robinson and Aaron Jones, he has McCaffrey. But
McCaffrey went from healthy Wednesday to questionable with an ankle injury Thursday. You'd never want to see a downgrade on Thursday. That's never good.
And I think that's where Palmer's downfall is. I'm going Bry Guy.
I'm going to say his downfall is Aaron Jones. He carried the team last week, and he's playing a tough Tampa Bay defensive line. I'm taking Bry also. I think Najee probably does good today. Is that Ryan Fitzpatrick in a Minka Fitzpatrick jersey?
It is.
I'm freaking out. I like Gabe Davis, but he didn't play last week. I'm curious why Bry didn't change him. I think there was always a thought that he wasn't going to play, but
I don't think it mattered.
Maybe not. I'm taking Bry as well. And that brings us to the power rankings. Let me hold. I got to do this. I got to get back to the one camera. Whew, we're making moves. We're editing.
You like this, guys? No clapping from the audience.
Yeah, we could have an
you
applause
guys
sign.
can like
You guys just make stuff up. All your stats are wrong.
They're not wrong.
It took you 15 minutes to come up with one stat. We were 3 games ahead.
Well, that's why I didn't find more.
All right. So for the power rankings, week 2, coming to number 12, 0-2 is the generic team.
Jeff stays at 12.
Yeah, he got a lot of injuries, a lot of holes. I think, Jeff's a good manager. He might be able to work out of it, but he's 12. 11, we talked about, chasing a championship. I think he's weak at running back there. Got receivers. CeeDee Lamb having Dak hurts him until he comes back or A.J. Dillon gets the majority carries there.
He went from 5 to 11.
Yeah.
It's a huge drop.
Look at the points. Look at the record. Coming in at 10, we got the return doubtful. We talked about him. He has he's 1-1. He has a bunch of number 2 running backs, no number 1. Think he got some holes there.
He went from 4 to 10. A lot of big
Same
droppers.
Coming in at number 9 is Ben's Baloney Boppers, 0-2. I still think right now,
That's the new rule for loser.
points-wise, right in the middle there, I think that might be a little better ranked than just the record.
Man, ain't they?
But
It's the
I
best
think
part
it's
of the
solid.
show.
Coming in number 8 is
You went from 6 to 9.
Where'd you end
69.
Yeah, and you jumped me, which I'm surprised by since we both lost.
And number 8 is actually batting lawn.
There you go. 7 to 8. One
Same
spot.
thing. I think well-rounded team like mine, but 0-2 record can't move you up. Points-wise, you look at it, we're right there actually, closer to the top than we are the bottom. 7, SA Quarantine. We talked about a team I liked from the very beginning. Needs a second receiver. Might need a tight end, but won this past week, so going to move up a little bit.
He went from not ranked to 7th this week.
Coming in at number 6 is the Crumb Snatchers. Honestly, I can't really remember much about the Crumb Snatchers off my head, and pretty much this is a high ranking for Tim, so I call it a win.
He went from 10 to 6. Way to jump.
Number 5 is the Army of Northern Virginia. Kurt had a good year last year. He's starting off decent this year. Think he has a couple holes. Who knows what Henry's going to be. He has Diggs, but who knows with that second receiver.
He went from 11 to 5.
Number 4, we got the Rough Cats. He's over my shoulder here. I've been high on his team. He needs that second receiver if Gabe Davis is injured. Otherwise, I think his team will be good throughout the whole year.
3 to 4.
Coming in at number 3, I got the Still Agenda. I think he's, 2-0? Or if he's 1-1, he has maybe the second most points. I think he got a solid team, and he got a good bench when everyone gets healthy.
9 to 3.
Coming in at number 2 is the General.
2.
Dropped the spot.
Not as good as Stu did.
Not as good as Stu, because number one is the guy who has the best record and the most points.
The undefeated, best points, most record, best bench.
You can't possibly keep that up
Camera
all
pick
season.
that up.
We'll see.
And that's your power rankings.
And that is the power rankings. Game's starting, and we have a raucous crowd, so we should probably bounce out of here before a lot of our followers tell me pointers about keeping background noise down. Jake?
But along those lines, Stu, get those emails in. We want the
NCL Fantasy.
What did we call that? Stu's Corner?
Conspiracy Corner.
We want the Stu's Conspiracy Corner back. And Jake?
Stu's a little thrown tonight. I sent him some information about a different conspiracy that he was very interested in, and we've gone to a different area. So
you want to talk about it real quick?
No, we'll try to get back. We're 26 minutes. I got to stay under 30.
All right.
So we will we'll leave that for next week maybe. Stu he'll have a question about that situation, but I got nothing. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to take Cleveland in the under, and I'm going to take over yardage on Chubb, under yardage on Trubisky, over yardage on Najee.
I'm going Steelers, the over, and Mitch having at least 4 touchdowns.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to say? Tags, you have a super lock? I heard if you tease either team to plus 60.
Tease the Steelers in the under.
There you go. Good value.
Bri, anything?
I got nothing.
Bet 30 to win 40 cents.
Tease the Steeler in the under and throw Najee over 39.5 yards.
I think
Plus
Trubisky's
275.
interceptions are at a half. So I'm assuming a ball gets tipped or something happens.
Everybody's taking that bet.
That is the lock of the year, I think. All right, well, get your emails in. Get your bids in on free agents. Good luck. And that's a wrap.
Adios.
There it is.